What would you say is the most dangerous street in America?
Man, there's been places in St. Louis that I've been very frightened. St. Louis is consistently one of the top cities in America. And the way that Memphis too, I would say they're very comparable, where you're on certain streets with some of these gangsters. Every single car that passes by, you are just like, oh God, here it goes. Like the way that they're driving, like in Memphis, like they drive very fast down the street, partially because the people are scared to get, like, if they see a bunch of guys outside, they don't want to get shot by them. So like they're going fast, but then are they also planning on doing a drive-by and that's why they're going fast? So like, I don't know if there's any one street. There's probably many streets like that in hoods across America where it's like you're just ready for something to happen.
How do you feel safe filming? Do you wear like a bulletproof vest or anything?
No security, no weapons, no vest. I'm here. I'm non-threatening. I'm here to ask questions. I'm here to understand. And I feel like if I escalated things, like if I brought private security with me, I just don't think it would be the same.
What about a vest? How is a vest?
What about bulletproof windows?
I don't want to be like that would be a bitch move in those areas. Like I'm not gonna wear. No one else is wearing a vest, but I'm gonna wear a vest. I think that's something cool. Like if I look at some of the guys I look up to in the space too, like Louis Theroux. He went to Philadelphia with a police escort and a bulletproof vest. And it's not like a Harry Houdini thing where I'm trying to escalate it to the next thing, but there is a little bit of pride of like, I'm willing to take it a step further than maybe the other people will. And also that builds a moat around my brand is because some of the stuff is more daring, I'm going to have less competition because not as many people are going to be willing to try and do it.
What are those cities doing wrong?
I don't know. It's so much. I mean, you could argue, there's a lot of different angles you could cover. Like, how are the DAs in that city treating certain violent crimes? Are they letting guys out? Like the car thieves we know in New York, they know that if they steal a car, they are out the next day. There is no concern, no worries. Same thing with California, theft, stealing, robberies. They're going to be out the next day. So I think in some ways the law is not, there's not a strict enough penalty. There's no hand that comes up and slaps you if you do something wrong. And so I think because there's none of that, they're not as scared. But then I also say there are cultural things happening that are very serious. You have people that education is really not prioritized. Family units is not prioritized. Exposing your kids to violent domestic, like the amount of domestic violence that goes on in some of these hoods is unbelievable. And can you imagine as a kid, the fear, the instability you grow up with? Poverty is a big part. Like, here's one. When I go on more, take like a little more of a left wing stance. A lot of these neighborhoods, I'll do Milwaukee because I know that the best. There are no really good job opportunities in the hood. There's your low paid daycare worker, home health care worker, gas station worker, although most of them are owned by people that don't live in that area. And they're, the Singh family in Milwaukee is the one that owns like all the gas stations and their family works at. If you want a good, well paying job that's outside of a factory, you have to drive 20 minutes outside of where you are. And so like there's a chicken before the egg though, because let's say I'm the mayor of Milwaukee and I say, hey, here's 300 million earmarked for 2 different major companies to open up factories and office jobs right here in the north side. Well, okay, now you're going to be dealing with a workforce like how much late workers can you tolerate? How many people just not showing up that day can you tolerate? How many fights at the job can you tolerate? And it's like it's a cycle that I don't see how it gets fixed because no company is going to risk going to a place where it's like there's so much uphill battle for us to be successful in this area, but then the people don't have anything to look forward to. Like in the 70s, Milwaukee had a really, really strong black middle class. And we had a very strong automotive industry where people owned their own houses, people had good jobs, there was family stability, and people were thriving. All of those jobs went overseas to Mexico and China and somewhere else across the globe. And all of a sudden, you just see this instability happening. Now more men are more likely to do stuff like sell drugs, which gets them in prison, which destabilizes the family. So like, there is societal things that have hit these areas that like there's so many boundaries to overcome to be successful. And then there are cultural things that are happening that like people are themselves in their own foot.
This clip is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura. Have you ever Googled yourself or a loved one and been absolutely shocked by all of the information that's publicly available online? Well, I did it recently, and it was really scary to find private information that was readily available on public data broker sites. Well, if you're scared about something like this too, that's where our sponsor, Aura, comes in. Not only does Aura monitor your personal data across the web, but it also helps you opt out of those invasive data broker websites. Plus, they offer identity theft protection with up to $5 million in insurance for your whole family, financial fraud alerts, and even a VPN and to keep your online activity private. Personally, I'm not willing to leave my information and my family's security vulnerable, and you don't have to either. Go to Aura.com/icedcoffeeclips to try it out for 2 weeks for completely free. And literally in just minutes, Aura will let you know if your personal information is exposed. Head to Aura.com/icedcoffeeclips to see why it's worth it and protect what matters most. Seriously, guys, it's just 2 weeks completely for free. Try it out with the link down below in the description or Aura.com/icedcoffeeclips. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring this podcast.